Hi there, me again. We're going to continue on with the post-stroke recovery piece. So we're going to call this, the next section would be role change and role disruption. So we spent the last video going through altered sense of self and loss of identity. Well, I'm going to say the loss of identity is exacerbated by both your altered sense of self, and it's also going to be tempered by your level of role change and disruption, right? So the document I found basically calls it family disruption. Well, I'm going to call it role disruption because you have many roles. One of them is your family, right? So you've got your family role and how it'll be disrupted. You've got your role at your workplace, your employment role, and it'll be disrupted. You're going to have your social roles, and I say roles because you may have more than one social activity. You may be involved with some kind of youth organization like Boy Scouts, Girl Guides. In Canada, the cadet system. They also have that in the UK. You may be involved with a youth group through your church or some other organization. You may be involved with, you know, you may go bowling with your mates on a weekend. You may play hockey. In my case, I play airsoft, right? And so, and then because your roles within those various organizations are going to get disrupted, you're going to have to change your role, whether you like it or not. And depending on the severity of your stroke, depending on the limitations you're currently dealing with, will depend on how that role is disrupted and then the change that's required. Well, think about it. How much of your identity is in a role, right? Let's just start with work, right? A lot of people, and I'm guilty of this, identify with their work, right? Well, I can't go to work. And I'm pretty good at my job. I was in the top 10% of all employees for 2 years running, right? Think about it. I was in the top 10%. I'm also a trainer, right? So at my job, I teach people how to do things, be it fresh off the street new hires, be it return to work, be it conversion training because they're going from one line of business to the next, be it return to work training, be it consecutive sort of continuous training, be it what have you, be it recursive training, right? Helping team manage with coaching plans. So I identify with that. I can't do it because I'm at home. They won't let me teach from home. Sad but true. So that role has changed drastically because I'm not at work, right? Not at work at all. Not a fan of that, but it is what it is. That being said, let's go to family now. Does that change your plans on having children at all or another child? Does that change your daycare options? Does that require you now to get daycare? Because the person that would normally be at home, unfortunately now is in a hospital and is expected to be there for a while. Does that change how you care for your children at home? Are you able to pick them up? I love to cook. If I had to eat someone else's cooking for an extended period of time, oh, forget about it. I like to cook. I'm good at it, and if I had to endure someone's cooking who was not very skilled, I'd just start ordering out too much and be a nuisance, right? Or, you know, are you now having to rely upon someone else's cooking? like a Meals on Wheels type situation. There's many roles that you might need fulfilling before your stroke, right? Or you would fulfill, right? There's many parts of those roles now that you're unable to fulfill, and you're going to have to learn to lean on someone, and that in of itself can be a source of difficulty, right? How apt are you to lean on someone else, right? How many times do you have to lean on that person, right? So you're now required to surrender some of your independence. You don't have a choice. There's no argument here. You do not have a choice. You're going to have to surrender some of your independence because the stroke has stolen that from you. Right? Can't drive, right? For whatever reason, they won't let you drive. They've officially taken your license or the medication you're on or whatever the case may be. Grocery stores, too daunting. Can't do it alone, or sometimes can't do it at all. Here's my debit card. Go get my groceries for me, right? Can't cook. You're gonna have days where you are just fully laid out. Making a meal is not in the cards. You're gonna finger dial, right? You're gonna do some finger cooking. You're gonna order pizza, Chinese, whatever the case may be. So at a domestic or family level, yeah, it's going to be highly disrupting, right? It's also going to be stressing, right? Because you're now going to have your family members concerned about you, more so than they normally would have been because, well, shit, you just had a stroke. It's also going to change some of the dynamic. From my experience, because my parents have a very chaotic communication style, I had to give them rules. And I basically had to tell them, if you're unable to follow these rules, I'll talk to you in 6 months. Like, we're done for 6 months. I can't deal with you, right? Your communication style is just too chaotic. I cannot deal with it, right? If you can't follow these rules, I will talk to you in 6 months' time. I have to make you go away, right? It's just too chaotic. I can't deal with it. I found that out. Well, almost jumping out of a moving car. We might talk about that later. You know, and think about it. When you first got out of the hospital, sure, I didn't have to go to a rehab or recovery facility, but I did come home with some limitations and some deficits. I wasn't walking too fast, and I had a bit of a right side arm hand tremor, and my speech was atrocious. So I didn't look all that good. Right? So they're going to be scared, and, you know, stairs were my enemy. And think about it. This is now going to limit, on a domestic level, romantic opportunities, right? If you're in a stable, committed relationship, it's going to limit how amorous or not, how active or not. You know, it's going to place some strain, right? Because it's going to change things like what you're about to do. Had you planned a vacation and you can no longer go on that vacation because either A, you were no longer insurable to travel because you can't get traveler's insurance due to change in medication or your current state of care, or just going on the vacation would be too taxing in and of itself. Like just getting to the airport, getting on an airplane, being on that airplane for 3 to 4 hours, and then landing, and then going through all that rigmarole. That in and of itself is going to write off your first day and a half because you'll be in a hotel room sleeping, right? And then subsequently reversing that and coming home, right? Or, you're not currently employed, you're on benefits, so financially there's going to be some strain there. It's also going to change your day in day out activities and roles again, right? Starting a new relationship again, you're going to be wondering, is this really fair to that other person, right? Or you're going to perceive yourself as damaged goods, right? Like, who is going to want to date me, or even, let alone be in a relationship with me, because I'm damaged goods. Like, there's nothing positive about me at all, because who's going to waste their time on the brain damaged guy, right? So that is, part of, your altered roles at home. Now let's talk about altered roles at in recreation and socialization activities, right? So going out and be social in your leisure time, hanging out with friends. Me, ambient noise, transient noise, it plays havoc on my brain. I was out last night. A friend had a corn roast. Went over to their place. They had some family members over because one of their family members had a birthday, and there was music playing in the background. I couldn't get near the music, right? They kept inviting a group of us over to the campfire they had. Not my decision, it was the person that was hosting the event. They decided they didn't want to go to the campfire. I was kind of glad they didn't, because people in a circle and talking, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I just couldn't. There's no way I'd be able to work with that, I don't think. And then the ambient noise of music in the background, yeah, my brain was, I think I might have been there for 3 hours, but I came home with a pretty healthy headache. Malls. Yeah, I put in a set of earbuds, I take my phone to YouTube or somewhere else, and I just play whatever. Conspiracy videos, why the British royal family are actually lizard people from the planet Xenu and are looking to go to their secret Antarctic base. Yeah. To hang out with Lee Harvey Oswald and Elvis Presley, because they're not dead. Then also consider the roles you play in your social life, right? Everyone has a role in their group of friends. Everyone has a role in their activities. So if you have like a leadership, organizer type role in your friends and social activities and your recreational activities, you're going to have to take a step back, right? There's no way you're going to do anyone any justice by trying to do anything significant right now except focusing on your recovery. But that's what you used to do before the stroke, and how hard can it be to try to organize a fill in the blank? Well, go ahead and try it. Yeah, you'll find out it doesn't work so well. Right? So when it comes to your disrupted roles, right, and your changing roles, right, you're going to have disrupted roles in, all of those situations. And when you return to work and you return to your social activities and you return to your recreational activities, again, you're going to have to step back into the roles that you're able to do. It might not be the same role you had before the stroke, right? That's a possibility. And with that might become the complete loss of these activities, right? Like, you cannot go to work currently. You cannot do your recreational activities. You cannot, like, if I was to play hockey, and I don't, I can't even imagine trying to get on skates right now. Oh, it would just be an utter shit sandwich. Like, me getting on skates would not be a good time. Right? So there's a lot of reasons why you're going to have, again, that altered sense of self, which leads into the loss of your sense of identity, right? And that's just going to feed into or be fed by, right, your role disruption and role change, be it in the domestic family relationship, be it vocational or employment, be it in your social, leisure, entertainment activities, right? There's going to be a level of disruption in every one of those, and each one is going to cascade, right? And then backfill, right? I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm no longer me, right? So there's your disrupted roles and role changing, feeding back onto you not being you anymore, which now has an altered sense of self. And all of this is a repetitive, self-feeding cycle which will lead to post-stroke depression, right? So if you haven't seen the video on post-stroke depression, please go watch my video on post-stroke depression. Now that being said, we're at the 15-minute mark right about now. So I'm going to land the plane and make this video stop. So if you happen to like what you've been watching in the last 2 months and a bit, please like, share, subscribe with your friends. If you continue to watch my videos, please subscribe. And if you continue to watch my videos but you're not sure why, subscribe anyways. Please, if you happen to know someone that's either going through a stroke, there's someone that has had a stroke, or a friend or family member that's going through the throes of a stroke and the recovery they're in, please share this channel with them. They may get some benefit out of it. And if you happen to see either in yourself or someone around you the signs or symptoms of a stroke, that being facial droop, inability to raise both arms equally effectively or at all, inability to smile equally effectively or at all, slurred, stuttering speech, inappropriate word usage for situation or context, inability to stand unaided, general body weakness or weakness on one side, please immediately place that person in a position of comfort and dial 911. Something so simple can save a life.